Okay, so let's go over Life Skills Unit 5, Stress, Anger, and Emotions. So you're just going to click on that, and then it's going to bring up your Google Drive link. You'll click on that. Okay, so first thing first, we need to go, I'm going to kind of flip back and forth between this PowerPoint presentation that I'll show my students in class. We need to define trigger. So think about anything, basically, situation, person, place, thing, anything that brings on an emotional response. So here's some examples of emotions. You can look through them if you need to pause and go back so you can see, this is just like a very small list though. Okay, and then here's some examples of triggers. So like the entering or exiting a specific place. So maybe it's like you live in a house that's not very safe. Maybe it's an abusive household, or I don't know, maybe the basketball gym brings like happy and positive emotions. Maybe work, maybe every time you wake up to go to work, you like dread it. And like, so it triggers some kind of emotion. Okay. So just keep that in mind when we're talking triggers. And it's a person, place, thing, anything. And these are all examples, just a few. But it's anything that brings on an emotion. Okay. So what you're going to do for this one is you're going to and this example is really good. So you're going to come up with two of your own, okay? So I don't know, maybe it's a smell. You like walk into the school and it has a certain smell. Like what does that do to you? Like is it a positive or negative emotion? And then one thing to keep in mind is that it's important to realize or recognize what we do based off of that. Because like if let's say that something happens, we walk in and it's something triggers like being annoyed or mad or angry. Well, what we do, how we react is kind of a big deal, right? Most of the time, if you are experiencing anger, frustration, or annoyance, like you might snap at someone. So it's important to kind of reflect on what you did. Okay. So, and then you're going to reflect with these questions down here. All right. So there's that. You need to come up with two triggers. One thing to keep in mind, you guys, is that a trigger for you that brings on like a negative emotion might be a positive for someone else. I'll go back to that going home. Maybe some people look forward to going home every day. It's like 2:25, that bell rings and they're like, sweet, I get to go home. But then for others, it could be a negative thing where maybe it brings on some fear or something. Okay, so the next one. So this life skills curriculum, if you kind of look back with all of the things that we've gone over so far, it all is supposed to tie into like substance use. Like if you think about like decision making and goal setting and risk taking and all of that, it's trying to, I like to think of it as like a toolbox. So all these things, it's your health toolbox to try to get you to realize just how much substances or adding those can really affect in a negative way things that are happening within your life. So that's what this one is going to kind of do. So you're going to, you can either come up with two different triggers or use these, okay? You're going to list them. And actually, if you use the previous ones, then this will probably be, you just kind of transfer the same information. So I would maybe even encourage you to come up with new ones because I think it's important to reflect on you and your actions and stuff. And then down here, you're going to list like consequences if like alcohol was involved. So like this is an example. There was someone at a family wedding. They were excited. They were happy. What happened because of that? They danced. But if alcohol or other substances were involved, then these things might have happened. So think about your triggers, the emotion, what happened, and then maybe think about like, well, what would happen if there was some kind of substance involved? Okay, so that's what you're going to do with this one. And then, okay, so this is I think a really awesome part right here in the book where it's going to give you some tools because like it says up here, they can send you into a whirlwind of emotions that can range from thrilling to devastating. Basically, the things in the next couple slides are going to give you tools to kind of help bring you back to where you need to be. So this first one, honestly, centering is just, it's kind of just like breathing. It's just like breathe, calm down, like calm yourself down, okay? And then reframing has three different things that you're going to do. So the reality check is think about the trigger, and you're going to ask a bunch of questions like, what am I thinking and feeling? Am I using words like never, always, worst, best? Keep in mind, like generalizing usually isn't a good idea, and that's what that is. Never, always, worst, best. Like overemphasizing. What is the worst result that could happen? What can I find that is positive? And what would be the best solution of this for me? So let me jump back and forth a little bit. So right here, you're going to come up with like another, I suggest another trigger, what you felt. Then you're going to use these different tools. So reality check, okay? You're going to basically respond to these questions right here. And use complete sentences. Don't just like 1 or 2 word response with this. Like you need to show me that you're actually doing the work and you're putting in the work, because it really is for you. It's going to help you. So that's the reality check, okay? And then you have double standard. I like this. So this is like, what would you say if it was your friend that was in that situation? So like, we tend to, we're hard on ourselves, but like, if our friend was in that same situation, we probably wouldn't say the same things. Most likely. I mean, we might, but most likely we wouldn't. So what would I say, or would I say these things, sorry, to a close friend who was in a similar situation? What would I say? Chances are you wouldn't say the same things to your friend. So with double standard right here, you're going to write the dialogue, maybe things that you would say if it was your friend that had to kind of like talk you through it. Okay, this past experience. Now we learn from our past, and it's probably a good idea to throw out that we can also learn from others' mistakes so that we don't make them. But yeah, so ask these questions with the past experience, okay? Has a trigger like this happened to me before? What was the trigger that time? How did I handle it? How did it work out? I actually have some examples for me. Oh, here's some other examples that I thought maybe were pretty relevant to like teenagers. So you can kind of look through that. Maybe certain smells, tastes, noises, family. Waking up on a Friday, I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, yes, let's do this. And then 2:25 on a Friday is even better. Okay, and then let me give you examples for the past experience. So here's the scenario I gave. I have 3 tests tomorrow and haven't studied for any. So then I walk my classes in person. I walk through reality check, because you ask yourself these questions, right? So keep this example in mind as we're going through the others, okay? Centered, what would you say to your friend, right? This is like you kind of flip the roles. And then past experience. Has a trigger like this happened to me before? So you're thinking, have I had 3 tests before? What did I do? How did I handle it? That kind of thing. Because like I said before, you can learn from your past experiences. So if you reflect on if things have happened before, then you can maybe adjust how you respond. Okay, and that is it for Unit 5. Hopefully I didn't go through this too fast. I will actually provide this slideshow for you so that you guys can look back on it. But just know that you can always email me with any questions you have, and I am here to help you make sure you do it right and understand. Good luck.